All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo. We got an exciting show on tap for you guys today. It is SHIPIT Nation unification. We got two brands under one roof now. Our guy James, the Degen75, coming over with him, all of his content, and his entire community coming over to SHIPIT Nation with Hoop, myself, Title, the rest of the team over there, all of our community combining under one roof at SHIPITNation.com. Going to break all things down today. We've got some membership giveaways. We've got a $200 single entry ticket we'll give away later. We're going to talk all things merger, what it means for you if you're on the outside looking in, ways to get in. We're going to talk about some industry news later on, just breaking down some of the stuff that we've seen and what we're trying to do differently and go from there. But without further ado, Hoopster, I'm going to bring you in first. Talk to the people, man. We had some big news going on over here and a lot of the reasons why we got to it. I know you want to talk about that a little bit as well. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone that is joining in right now and anyone that does eventually play this back. Big day, obviously, for the SHIPIT Nation community and the Degen75 community. This is something that has been in the works for a while, not something that just popped up and say, hey, let's do this. There's a lot that went into this. We've been going for 2-3 months working on this and executing it properly so it doesn't affect any of our current members, any of our content creators. We wanted this to be as seamless as possible for everyone involved. And just a quick little backstory on how this all started. Obviously, we, over the course of the last year, have done some content between the two companies, SHIPIT Nation with Degen75. The content has been very successful. Tambo and James been doing shows together. And over time, we realized that there's a lot of overlap in what we do on the content side. There's a lot of overlap in our communities. And then as the three of us started talking more in depth, we realized there's a lot of overlap on our business goals, our visions for our websites, our vision and goals for our members, how we go about producing content, how we're in this to help people. So those conversations really led to this where it's like, man, this is a situation that is pretty rare where if we can make this happen, everybody involved benefits in a big way. It's a win for everybody. And, in the business world, that's not always necessarily the case. It seems like somebody's getting fucked along the way. And this situation is way, way different. And I did want to make sure I got the first F-bomb in before James started talking because I know
counter
that's
up
his
there,
thing.
James.
No, I wanted to make sure I snuck one in before James started talking. But it was a rare situation where we started talking like, man, this is something where everybody involved can win, whether it's from the content perspective, the business perspective. So, the SHIPIT Nation community, it's a big win for our community because we get James, we get his team, we get his content. And then on the Degen75 side, big win for everyone in that community because now they get all the SHIPIT Nation content, which on both sides is additional sports, additional content pieces. And, oh, wait, the best part about it is no one's price tag goes up. Again, talked about it a little bit yesterday. We could have done this merger and said, man, look at what everyone's getting now. We were adding sports for both sides. We're adding content pieces. We're charging $49 a month. Let's just bump it to $65 and we'll get 15 extra bucks from every person. Could have easily done that, but that's not what either of these companies has ever been about. We want to provide an all-encompassing DFS product for our members at an affordable price. And we don't want to create a situation where people got to be worried month to month. Man, this seems too good to be true. Are they going to bump the prices on me? I just paid this. Next month, is it going to be this? I just did a 6-month plan. When it renews, is it going to go up to this price tag? Don't ever want to get in that situation, a commitment we've made to ourselves, our members, and our team. And it's something we're going to stick by. When we first started, when we first launched, at SHIPIT Nation, we had 2 sports. We were rolling with golf and MLB. And we said, yeah, listen, we're coming in at a cheap price tag. We know you guys need more in terms of content. Give us a try, continue on with what you're doing at other sites. Well, now we're offering all the main sports that DraftKings and FanDuel essentially offer. We have content and consistent content. what you get for each sport is going to kind of be the same. Obviously, little differences based on some of the sports, but what you get for each sport, you can kind of see the continuity sport to sport now moving forward. So we're going to make a little shift here, and it's time now where you really start looking at the price tags that you're paying around the industry. This is the spot now where we feel we have the all-encompassing product where you can, roll with us and be good to go moving forward. So again, very, very excited about this merger partnership deal. And we're going to break it all down here throughout the show and let you guys see the benefits of what we are offering moving forward.
Yeah, we're going to show off all the new stuff. I'll get James in here in just a second, but just a happy Valentine's Day to those out there that celebrate. I saw that a lot in the chat. Please do help us with that like button. I'm sure by the end of this, with the way this conversation is going to go, there's going to be more thumbs downs than usual, but I still think we'll exceed them in the likes. But, people are not going to be happy when we start talking about the industry later on and what we've got going on, I'm sure. But just to say it here, James, I'll bring you in. Like a lot of people talked about it. I know one fact I want to bring up right away is some members at Degen75.com have still not got their email yet. They'll be getting it soon. We're making this transition as seamless as possible. You will be taken care of. You will have a very specific email coming out to you. So just stay tuned. If you didn't get it yet, it's on the way today. I was talking with the editor before I hopped on here. That's coming over your way. And then lastly, shout out to our guy, Nick, LSU Nick. The editors will still get these. We still need to figure out how to get title good internet as well. So we'll get all that stuff figured out for you. But without further ado, James, I'll let you get in there. Jordan knows.
Just real quick. That's why, Jordan, that's why Hoopster talk first. I have to get in as many words as I can here right out of the gate because I know moving forward, I'm in trouble on the stream.
Go ahead, James. Bring us in here, man. You can talk some too about just the alignment, the overlap, the crossover, why it made sense. You did a great job for those who didn't watch it, breaking down your video the other night. But talk to us a little bit about this merger for you, why it all made sense, and what we're going to do moving forward.
First of all, let me just touch on what we were already talking about there with our with my current members. I want to make sure none of you are going to miss 1 second of content, not one tool. Okay, so like if you haven't got your email yet, don't fret. You're not going to miss anything today. I got you. I take care of my people. I think that the first thing I would want to lead with is like I view every one of my customers, as a lot of people call them. I think of them as members. I really want to get to know them. I return every DM. I answer every question. I do meetups in Phoenix with these, because I want to meet people. I'm a normal dude. I live in fucking Oklahoma, right? I'm like not famous and stuff. So when you get to know these people and you see that like these are just like 38-year-old dads, with working dads who have 2 kids and they just want to enjoy some DFS and try to play the game and have a little bit of an edge and just need some tools but don't get to put 80 hours into it a week like losers like I do. And you see that, and then it makes you realize you don't want to squeeze every single penny out of every single person, and you want to give people a great product. You want to give people all the things they need to compete in a competitive environment, but like do it at a fair price where like they can put their money into their DraftKings lineups and not put it into their $200, $300, $400 a month tout site, right? I mean, there's so many people, if they just did the math on how impossibly hard it is to consistently win multiple thousands of dollars a year at DFS, and that's just to cover your tout sites, I think you would see like how much like these people just don't realize the impossibility of becoming a winning player at DFS and then becoming a winning player enough at DFS to also cover all the money you're wasting on these super expensive tout sites. So I've always wanted to have a site where I could give people the best content, the best tools, and let them be competitive and teach them the process without doing it at a price gouging rate. Problem is, I was always just one guy. I was never going to be able to offer all the sports. Just doing golf and football in October had me like, every time I was near a tall bridge, I was looking over the edge. Okay. So I will tell you, when this opportunity came along, many people reached out to me, and I was like, "Yeah, right. Get the fuck out of here. There's no chance. I'm not. You don't share my values. We don't have anything in common." But whenever this started to, take place over a series of weeks, and we started talking, we've always realized that we do have many of the same values. We do have some crossover in content, but there's also areas of which I do that you guys didn't offer, and tons of stuff you guys do that I didn't offer, and it just started to make sense. And in the end, I realized that it certainly wasn't going to hurt me or my people. Matter of fact, I was quite sure it was going to benefit all of my members because they're going to be getting it cheaper over at SHIPIT than they were getting on my site, and they're getting way more, and they're getting more people, more smart people. I mean, I met the whole SHIPIT crew. Those guys are sweaty tryhards just like I am for all of their sports, right? So when you just started putting all that together and you start thinking about doing what's best by the customer instead of just what's best by your company or your business or your wallet, which I think most people in this industry only think through those terms. It started to become pretty obvious to me that it was something that I not only wanted to do, it was something I needed to do.
Yeah, and you brought up the age portion here. Some people got mad. You said, I'm 52, 27, I'm 36. But, realistically, like I said, it doesn't really matter about the age that you are. People are just bringing that up. But I think it's funny because it is for everybody. Like, everybody can still get in and be in the game. But to your point, a lot of people aren't doing this day in, day out, night, from morning to evening. People know me in the Discord all the time, around the clock, trying to be available for everybody. But I'm also working on my own game. I'm playing DFS. I'm trying to have success with it. That's what the site and the community aspect is all about. And Hoop, I know you wanted to talk about this too, just the continuity across the sports. Like when you talked about us starting with just 2 sports 9 months ago when we launched Ship It Nation, and now it being up to 8 sports, which we're going to showcase here in a minute and break some of that stuff down for you. But just in the generality of like, we didn't just add sports to add them. We added them as they made sense, or as they sort of brought something different into the space that we could bring to the Ship It Nation brand. So talk to us a little bit about that, and we'll go into the next section from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we have always said. We've openly said it on the show, streams, podcasts, where we're not going to just bring in a sport and say we're experts at it just to have like another sport. And you saw that along the way. We started with PGA, we started with MLB, and, we looked at some of the other sports. Well, the first opportunity that came up for us was MMA, and we brought on Title and Big Marley, who, immediately gave us a very solid MMA product. And now I honestly think it's the best in the industry, what they offer and what they do on the MMA side. And obviously we're going to have NFL. We did PGA. We obviously have PGA Showdown. Well, now our PGA Showdown product improves vastly with bringing James on board. We're going to have NASCAR. Now we get college football because, again, this deal allowed us to have a very solid college football product. So our commitment has always been, we're not going to just bring on sports and say, hey, we're experts at this. We're not going to say, all right, now we're, PGA projections here. You have to have these $600-700 annually, whatever it is. Like, we understand what it takes to put out a sport, and we have high standards and high quality in terms of what we're going to give out to our customers. Never was going to be about a thing where we're just adding sports. Had to do it when it makes sense. And now we're at the point where, again, we have 8 sports that we're offering, and what we are, and we'll get to the pricing stuff at the end, but what we're charging for all 8 of these sports is what a lot of sites are charging for one sport now, just one sport. So you're getting everything on our site for what some sites in this industry, and it's turning into the industry standard, are charging for just one sport. So we're going to talk about all that. Tambo has a site up. We can walk through what we're offering sport a lot. We want to make it simple, easy to digest content for each sport. That's why you're going to see a lot of the same sorts of content, sport by sport by sport, as we go through it.
Yeah, and I'm going to let James take it from here in a second. I just want to show off a couple things here first, but we've said this from the start, right? Everything you need to have success with DFS. Spoiler alert, and note, we hinted at it in the show we did yesterday for the PGA event this week with Hoop and I, but this is phase 2, and there is a phase 3. So this was the next step in the wheel to get to the next step after that. So just want to note that. If you guys want to check out testimonials, if you're new, you can see what others are saying. If you're watching this on playback, speaking of step 2, there's going to be a step 2 in our members only contest in the Discord, where you're going to be able to go down after this video, if you're watching this on playback, and see some comments about why people love Ship It Nation. That's going to be part of the contest, why people love it. Give their testimonials right here in the comments. But I will note a couple things. I brought the age up earlier. Probably had the funniest interaction with a member giveaway ever. We love the community. They're always giving back. Had a member reach out. Shout out to my guy, Benet, Kevin. He said, I want to give away $200 for a single entry, but it has to be to one of the olds, 50 and up. He literally said that. I was like, I don't think I can just go announce it like that. But since he said it, I'll say it. And I saw some people earlier mention I'm 62. There he is. It's Benet. He's right there. 62. Let's go, old guys. So see, he's saying it for me, but you have to be over 50 to win the $200 single entry today. If you're not and you want to get in on a membership, start letting us know in the Discord now why you guys would like to win a membership to Ship It Nation, which now features all the stuff we're about to show you here. And then lastly, at the end, save your questions if you can, just a little bit longer, because we've got 2 more segments to go in. And at the end, like always, we'll wrap up with your Q&A and try and hit every single one of them. But before I go to you, James, just quick, NFL, obviously wrapping up, but we had a very successful season. It started with best ball. We had Marley doing the tiers, afternoon, and primetime slates. we still had all the tools your other sites have. We have stack rankings, we have DVP rankings, we had slate plans breaking it all down like a GPP report, or core plays are like top plays, or whatever you want to call it from these other sites, just to show it. Showdown, we had projections, and then ownership, we had other stuff within it, all that, and then of course projections, ownership for the main slate. I should note, good time to join the nation now, because if you play anything, football just ended. NBA has a 12-game slate tonight. Then we have All-Star break. But this upcoming week, we've got NHL during the All-Star break. NASCAR, Daytona 500, $1 million up top. More on that in a second. PGA, of course, is the Genesis guy. You might know him, Tiger Woods. Yeah, he's playing in this tournament. And then the MMA pay-per-view coming up this weekend, which some of our team will actually be at live. So the content will be ready to go for that. But PGA, we always had. There is going to be some additions with Degen coming on. MMA, who talked about it. We had an absolutely incredible season. We're in the heart now, I think, of the next 10 straight events or something like that. So there's going to be awesome content there. NHL during the All-Star break. Our guy Nades heading that up. Boomer and the rest of our team getting ready to work on baseball as it makes its way back. Had great success starting things out last season. That actually helped propel our original momentum when we started off with the pitcher rankings, the hitter rankings, the stack rankings, and then the projections are incredible too. The NASCAR stuff we'll get to in a second. The college football we'll get to in a second. But I will note, James, just kicking it to you, there are sites out there that sell NASCAR and college football separately, and in some cases charge as much for that as it would be to almost just hop on and get an all-access membership to everything on SHIPIT Nation. But I'll let you talk a little bit about the NASCAR, the college football, and the PGA stuff that you're going to be bringing over here.
Well, as you know, there's nothing I'm more passionate about than PGA Showdown. I think it's one of the biggest edges in PGA, right? There's a reason that we call week-long kick in the nuts, because it's hard. You need about a million things to go your way. Yeah, you can still get an edge over the long run, but if you're looking to see like to get instant gratification on getting some leverage on your plays and finding those diamonds in the rough, you get it so much more frequently at Showdown. I started out with PGA Showdown, and then, it evolved into helping people play the game. And then it came into giving them the best tool out there, the Rosetta Stone, which I put out for round 2, round 3, and round 4, every round of Showdown, right? And once after a week or two of using it, it's going to be the most intuitive thing you've ever used. It gives you all the relevant stuff you need to know about putting splits, the true approach, because there's nothing more correlated to success at Showdown than previous round approach. We have I marked some sleepers on there, some high leverage guys, some pivots. I have ownership, literally everything you need to know. If there's a weather edge, I put who's going to be in the best tee times and who's not, and it's out for every single round. It's not a single pick on there. You look at it, you use what you want to use, and then you can go make informed decisions and make lineups and really give yourself an edge at PGA Showdown. With that, we also have taken it because college football is the great unknown of DFS sports, right? People just don't like how many teams there are, all these players on every team. They can never keep up with it, and I get it. It is overwhelming, the number of teams, how it changes every slate. The players change every slate. You don't really know anybody. But I started making the Rosetta Stone for college football, and it's a game changer because we basically only put the players on there that you should even consider. I have full projections, and let me just warn you, my college football projections are as on point as my PGA projections, because I just sit there. Everybody's got their thing. Mine is projections and ownership. I'll be the first to admit it's a weird kink, but it's something I have, okay? And I spend all this time on it. I even color code it to help you understand what are the GPP plays, what are the cash plays, what are the games that you should be targeting, what are going to be the chalky games, everything you need to know, where if you want to play college football DFS on a Saturday to help Sunday get here a little bit faster for NFL, you're going to have it right there. And then with the 30 minutes to an hour, you can make really well-constructed cash and GPP lineups that will allow you to compete. And you're not just picking random slapdicks off of the DraftKings app that you don't even know who they are. And then for NASCAR, we're introducing NASCAR this year, and the big guy. If I'm going to do any sport, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. We are going to perfect ownership, projections, and yes, there will even be a Rosetta Stone for NASCAR. So, if you're a guy that hasn't really been keeping up with it, it's Sunday morning, you see the races on, and you want to get a little bit of action on NASCAR, and you don't want to just be a loser that just throws random names in there. You actually want to do it with some informed decisions. We'll have all the relevant, pertinent information in that stone so you can make well-informed decisions and make lineups with a purpose instead of just hoping and praying like I think a lot of people are doing on the shitter at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, building their NASCAR lineups. That's just those are the things that I'm going to offer. And if you've ever enjoyed my golf content or my tools, I promise you it's going to be just as hardcore for college football and for NASCAR. I lose sleep at night thinking of letting anybody down.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's what we're, where our values align fully. It's not just about the savings. We talk about the affordability of it all the time, but it's just the passion in getting up and doing this stuff. This is a lot of fun to break this stuff down. I'm going to do it more in 1 second. I do want to note, though, especially for the SHIPIT Nation side of people coming over, it's another added bonus. Part of the community in the Discord over at SHIPIT Nation, guys like Smarty, he was in there already doing college football content. We asked him, do you want to be part of the team doing it all? He said, I just want to do my thing, help people when I can. And that way it was kind of set up in a way where everybody got something from it. But if he didn't have time or he had a weekend away or whatever it might be, and I honestly don't think he held up on that end. I think he just did it every week anyway, even though I said, man, like you could take a break, whatever. But we love Smarty. He takes care of us. We take care of him. But he's still going to be in the streets helping out James and being part of the team, doing all that. That really is what it's all about. So just a note on that. Like college football is not for a while. I get it, but there will be projections and ownership. There will be a core report, a player pool, a slate plan. And then we took the Rosetta Stone. We didn't want Rosetta coming after us. So we have the Degen75, the editor, and we made it the Stone, whatever you want to put on it. But it is the Stone, and it's going to be up there for college football. It's going to be up there for NASCAR, and it's going to be up there for PGA. And then we'll see where we take it from there. But I do want to take 2 seconds, James. I did pull it out so that you could see just an example of it. I don't know how clear and clean it's going to look on the screen, but just to say it, like this is like an example from golf. And talk about an easy to use sheet. We talk about this all the time about people just wanting ease of use. They want tools that they can actually know and understand. I'll come back to it in 1 second, actually. I want to show you this for a second. If you go to something here, let's just see what it would be like, anything. I'm just going to go to a random one. We have a tutorial on every page where you can go down and see how to actually use it. So even if it's not easy for you to understand, we make it very simple within a matter of seconds for you to do so. We do put the extra time, effort, and care into making this something that you can actually use, learn from, and then that way it doesn't matter if you're 21, 26, 64, it does not matter. We're going to try and make it as easy as possible for you. But just to break it down, golfer, the price on both sites, the ownership, which we're going to talk more about what the term sweaty tryhard means in a second. Ever want to know the wave for a wave advantage? I do. This is nice right here for you. What's their win equity? Top 20, made cut percentage, just 3 easy things. 3 modeled out items with the recent form, the model rank, and the course history. Their projection, their ceiling, their optimal rate, and then go from there. And then James takes it a step further and talks about pivots, sleepers, high leverage, and then can they be used in cash? All of this stuff. It's just very easy to use. And once you get the hang of it, it's going to be even easier for you from there. So James, did you want to talk more on this just for a second? I mean, obviously you're doing this for the other sports, but anything I missed or anything key that you could take away from this and apply to college football and NASCAR, or should they expect the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, we try to put a lot of information on there because, we got guys who are just learning how to play PGA DFS all the way up to like literal pros. Like I've got like 7 or 8 pros that, are lingering around my my community that still use the Stone, right? It's a quick reference guide for them. It's something to add to the tools that they already have. And I think once you get to use it, you're going to start to find that there's a lot of stuff in there that you like for your process, right? The answer to the Stone isn't you use everything, and it's also that you use nothing. It's that you use what you find, right? Like, whenever I'm doing round 4 showdown, right? I really like to look at historical grades, right? We have how good historically are they at round 4? And I like guys who are historically good at round 4 because I think they kind of have a fuck it attitude. And they're like, it's Sunday. I'm firing at every pin. I'm already rich. I don't give a shit if I make 10 bogeys. And so like you can find these little things that fit what you're looking for, and you can start deriving the information out of the Stone that you want, right? There's a ton of information there, and you don't have to use it all, but you can find what works for you. And I think that it's that it's all going to be there, whether you're a weather guy, an ownership guy, a win equity guy. You're going to have tons of stuff to look at there.
This is a cool note too, actually. Really extra feature that you get is you can download this and do what you want with it. You can sort it, you can change it around. There's really a way that anybody who wants can use it. Like Jason says, I printed on a legal page document and I still need my reading glasses. It's so much info. That's a way, again, you can sort it out in the file that you can download. And again, one thing I will say, I know Kim, shout out to our favorite Kim here. She says, will win equity and cut percentage be loaded? All things in due time. We're trying to get this transition as fast as possible. But when I talk about, I talk about it like efficiency, speed, and accuracy. You want to do it right the first time. We are already transitioning some stuff. I'll go back here for a second just to PGA projections. So the Degen75 projections, James's projections, are going to come over. You will now see where you get ceiling added in, right? And then all of this will move over to the solver. You'll have that as an added bonus. When you go to PGA, there is also a showdown Stone. There is showdown projections and ownership round 1 through 4. So we will have you guys covered for everything possible. When it comes to golf, all of the stuff you are already getting, but now adding in. And the other thing is we do a lot. We do every show pretty much for free, but James had a few additional shows that were premium and are just little added bonuses, kind of like quick hits, to be honest, like the sleepers video. It's 15 minutes or less. The other videos that he does is sort of extra information that you guys can go and get. That's just another added bonus for members that on Degen75, they were already getting it. Now on the Ship It Nation side, all of it under one roof, everybody's going to get it. So that's just another added bonus there for NASCAR, projections, core report, slate plan, the stone, and for college football, all of those items as well. We always have the education courses. We'll continue to add to those. But James, sweaty tryhard comes up a lot. And I couldn't think of actually a better spot to bring it up than in obviously the work you're putting into these tools and the team that you have and everything there. But the showdown projections, this is where, we have to cross the line a little bit and draw a line in the sand. But you and I have been talking for weeks now leading up to this and just going through some of the stuff. And we spend a lot of time not just focused on our members and the community and all of those things, but looking at what other sites are doing and our competitors. We're just as competitive in the business streets as we are in the DFS streets and making this the best place possible for everyone out there. Showdown projections, there's sites that are not changing them based on course rotation. They're not changing them based on the weather or the waves. They're just going off of price and that's it. Or they're going off of their classic projections and just extrapolating them. Sweaty tryhards to me is the extra effort. You're going the step above. I mean, you're on your stream every week. You're who moonwalks and who's steaming up. You're finding out where the ownership is going and going from there. So talk a little bit about that, and then we'll let Hoop get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, so I think the dirty little secret about PGA projections is like most people just aren't smart enough to understand how they're made. It's basically just a baseline of how good of a player is versus everybody relative to the field, and then you just multiply that by how you think the course is going to play for that round, minus 2 under par, or 2 over par, 2 under par, and you just multiply it and then convert it to DraftKings points. Honestly, for what 99% of sites who are putting out PGA projections, a smart 7th grader could do it. A smart 7th grader could do it. They're pretty slapdick, if you want to know the truth. They're not factoring in a lot of the things that really, make an edge at PGA projections, or specifically at showdown projections. Like if they're playing multiple courses, if there's going to be a course that bakes out in the afternoon and you've got soft conditions in the morning, they're not factoring in these tee times or these different courses. They're not factoring in previous rounds results and what implications that could have on the next round. All of these things that are like very important parameters to factor into good, well thought out projections just aren't there by most people. I already kind of had a model that I've been using, because before I was like a famous YouTuber, I was like just a dude who grinded PGA DFS and made a good enough living at it. And so I already had all of these things built in, and then now I've just continued to tweak them and make them better. I have a projection guy that has anything I dream up, he can quantify it and put it into there to adjust our projections. And we have these interactive projections that are not only for week long, but at showdown can reflect any real edges that players have. And it's not just simply how good they've been over the last 2 years divided by the rest of the field. Like it's so basic. And so I take that sweaty tryhard, the same thing I do at my ownership, I do with my projections, and I'm constantly tweaking them, looking over every one of them and making sure that they are cooking out the correct projections and ownership that they should, so that everybody can have the best, because I'm using them too. And I've managed to do pretty well with them.
Yeah, Chris knows the secret. When Hoop talks, we listen. That's what it comes down to, but that's part of it. Like Smarty says, silent but deadly type. It's a good combination. That's what we love about our team over here. And we talk about less is more all the time, just keeping the team lean, but focused and execution at a high level. We take it very seriously. These guys were with us. We were all just down in Phoenix, and we had a literal team meeting, breaking this stuff down, making sure that we're on top of it, because we're going to talk about that later, where other sites are getting lazy. You can't afford to do that when you're up against us. This team is always going to go hard. We're always going to be sweaty tryhards and get in there and do the extra stuff to make it the best possible for everybody out there. And then the price and affordability and community all comes with that. But Hoop, I think that's a good time to jump in, because while this does look very nice to see 8 full sports that we're going to have projections for, all the major sports, and then we still have community channels in the Discord, which is where we're about to segue to now anyway, of tennis and college basketball, and you can still sports betting. It's all in there. We're just not selling that. That's just an added bonus that you get when you do it. And we'll answer questions on the projections and the solver and all that stuff later. But Hoop, talk to us about the community aspect, because when I brought it up, and I'll do mine quickly so you can get into it, but I always tell the story from Roto Grinders, and I'll say their name because I have huge respect for Cal. Cam started that thing off. Dan Bach, been there since day one. Many of us, Hoop, myself, both worked at Roto Grinders. Lots of people in the industry did, and they set this thing up for everybody else to follow. I think it's a great thing where now other people are chasing this to try and continue to grow the game, get people involved, be at an event like the one in Phoenix and tell people, come on in and check it out. But back in the day at Roto Grinders, I would have to go under one of these links, find forums, and go and type a subject title and a body of what I want to ask, and then go sit and pray all day on refresh button that someone would respond to it, because it wasn't that they weren't inclusive. It's just like, you're a new guy. The new guy doesn't always get to say something. The guy in the back doesn't always get to have his chance. So that's the issue. Now it's a community where you can just hop right in, immediately get into the Discord and improve your game. And I'll talk more on that after, Hoop. I'll kick it to you though. Just talk about the Discord, the community as a whole. That's really what we're trying to set it up for, right? That interactivity and being able to be around other people that maybe can help you get better at the game or skip some of these mistakes and steps that you may missteps along the way.
Yeah, certainly. So a lot of comments in the chat about Hoop getting in words. Listen, guys, like, do you think coming into this stream, your boy thought he was going to be at the top of the list in terms of words spoken? No. And that's fine, because these guys do a much better job of the talking, the marketing, that sort of thing. So I'm good with my role. That's why this thing works out so damn well, because a lot of people be sitting here like, let me talk. Your boy is taking notes here, and I'm going to hit on my points, and then I'm going to move on just to touch on a couple talking points from the previous segment. Then I'll go into the Discord and the community. With the projection stuff for PJ, it's so damn important, especially for showdown rounds, round 2, round 3, round 4. I'm around the industry. I'm in a lot of different spots. I see what everyone else is doing. The round 2, round 3, round 4 stuff is criminal, which what a lot of sites are doing, not even changing their projections at all, leaving their main slate projections all the way through. And then you just got to fend for yourself. So if you just go in there and just run teams, it is not going to be accounting for what they've done so far. It's not going to be accounting for their tee time. It's not going to be accounting for what course they're playing. We've had a lot of course rotation stuff over the last month, not taking any of that into account. If you just go in there and run teams, you're literally drawing dead. Moving forward with James' projections, all that is taken into account, and he is busting his ass. And like you said, he loses sleep over this shit. And I can promise you that is true. So that is one huge addition to what we're offering, obviously, now moving forward. But in terms of that, speaking about projections, one thing we've always made very clear, it's not just about projections. There are sites, for a PGA example, that will charge $5, $6, whatever it is, maybe $700 for just their PGA projections and tell you need them to be good. That's a damn joke, all right? It's one piece of the puzzle, all right? Everything goes in, and that's how you make yourself a better player. If you're relying on one source of a number to make your teams, you're not making yourself a better player. You need to make yourself a better player. We offer the process to make you a better player, make you more competitive. It's one thing that James always says on his streams, which I respect the hell out of, and not many people are going to tell you. Most people doing this lose money. It's not easy to make money playing DFS. Our goal is to make you a better player so you're able to make more competitive teams, so you're able to have sweats at the end of the week. That's the goal. Get there at the end of the week or the end of the slate, and you have teams that are competitive to win. Are you always going to win when you get there? No. But the more times you put yourself in that chance to win, it's going to hit. You're going to have your big hit, and we've seen it a ton over the course of the last 9 months. And this kind of all ties into the community aspect as well. The Discord. Obviously, you become a member at SHIPIT Nation, or if you're already at Degen, you're going to be in our Discord moving forward. And I can tell you, I've been in all these Discords. I'm still in a lot of them around the industry, okay? And there is a lot of toxicity in these places. People talking shit to each other, people battling, people putting inappropriate comments in there. And I can tell you for certain, man, that shit really does not happen in our Discord, in our community. It is a group of people in there that have common goals, common mindsets, and you can see it every day. Willingness to help. Just jump in and help somebody anyway. Life, DFS, whatever it may be. Seeing a ton of that. Limited issues in there. And that's how you become a better player. That's how you become a better person, honestly. I mean, there's good conversations happening about life in general. But our Discord has been very friendly. Not much toxicity, no drama. And everyone in there looking to help each other. A lot of free rolls, a lot of, hey, I'm going to stake this guy in a tournament tonight. You just see a lot of that stuff. And that's something we're very proud of. in this day and age with DFS and everything, it's very important to have a home, have people supporting you, have people like-minded around you. It could just make you a better DFS player. And that's, honestly what I think our Discord offers and will continue to offer moving forward. So it's a very important aspect because it's tough sometimes. I've been doing this for 12 years playing DFS, and, it can be a lonely feeling. Honestly, it can be a lonely feeling, ups, downs, whatever it may be, because not many people in your regular life can relate to what is going on. You can't talk to somebody about an NBA slate or a PGA slate. They're going to be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? This is a home. This is a community, a friendship for a lot of people. And it's very important. It's something that we're going to make sure stays this way moving forward.
Yeah, this guy, Cullen, who's given away the 4 memberships, by the way, won $250K on Sunday in NFL. He's given away 4 monthly memberships right now. He gave away a bunch more, $200 single entry ticket, just super generous. We have tons of people like this. We want to say shout out to Cullen for sure. And he says, stick to the process. You'll get better. Nobody can guarantee you that you're going to win out there. And I think that's one thing that gets brought up a lot that I'll speak to quickly, and I'll go to James's thoughts on the Discord. But to Hoop's point, nobody talks bad about any other sites in the Discord. We don't mention the other sites' names. We have no tolerance for it. You get booted, timeouts, things like that. We abuse, you got to do that. We don't need to do it very often, but we're just saying we don't put up with that. We're focused on SHIPIT Nation and your experience. That's what it's about, making it the best place possible. Part of that is no toxicity when it comes around to that other stuff. People mentioned earlier about other people around the industry. And even if you name names, someone said, ship my money. I think Adam is an awesome dude. Follow him on Twitter. Great at his content. I know he's no longer with the previous company. We've never been about that. Like what people always say, like it's not to say we don't want to bring someone like that on. I'd love to bring 10 people on if we could, but it's still making sure we can bring you the best possible experience. And with that comes, you have to have other things covered. We have to have the right people in the right places. We haven't needed to have this giant team or bring on the next screenshot warrior that can show it off. It's just to say there's good people out there. We'd love to have them, but everyone sort of demands what they demand. And that's just where we're at. With Degen75, with James, it made a lot of sense to bring multiple other sports, 2 communities that think alike, very similar perspectives on how this industry should be treated all together under one roof. And I think that's why you don't see us bringing on all these big names and other people while other sites continue to do that. We do not. That's just not something that we do. So now I got the frozen screen again.
You got to keep those hands down. Every time you put those hands up, you freeze. They're making fun of your connection. I know that it's just when he puts his hands up there, some new feature makes him freeze. I know this stuff.
Yeah, I'll let James take it over. I just wanted to finish on it, and then I'll get my camera back. Is that to Hoop's point? That's sort of the one factor is the Discord. We just don't have anything like that. Like when you come in, it's about getting better at the actual game. It's about finding your own process, being able to put it into place. If Hoop never won again at DFS for the rest of his life, he'd be sad. He'd be disappointed. But at the end of the day, he's been doing this so long, you should not be coming to SHIPIT Nation because Hoop's resume or Hoop won a Millie Maker or Hoop crushes DFS. It's more of because of those things, he's able to actually help you learn, skip big mistakes, get better at the actual game, learn new sports, work on education courses, all those factors that can actually make you a better player. James, I'll kick it to you while I fix this, just Discord and then anything else you want to add when it comes to that.
I was a losing to break even player for about the first 4 years of my DFS career. I started playing PGA DFS and I just enjoyed it. I had fun with it, even when I wasn't winning, right? It took me a while to learn it. There wasn't a lot of people out there to really help you and, improve your process or anything like that, right? And so with that, I kind of learned from the school of hard knocks. But it also, now that I have becoming a winning player, it's made me realize that DFS should be fun, right? If you're not having fun with this shit, why are you playing? Right. And what makes it fun? You should enjoy the process. You should enjoy doing the research and building your lineups, sweating the cut sweat on Friday, seeing what happens on Sunday and knowing that it's not always going to go your way. Right. But part of having fun is also having some good sweats every once in a while. And you do that through building a process. And you can only allow yourself enough time to build up a process. When I say I was a losing player for 3 years, I wasn't burning through $100,000 a year. I was a casual player burning through a couple $1,000. I considered it fun. Right. But what I realized is that the one thing I was doing, right, even when I was a losing player, is I was being sustainable with it, right? I wasn't playing out ahead of my skis. And if you play at a sustainable rate, that you can ride the ups and downs. Even the very best players in this industry have bigs up and big downs, depending on a couple slates of variance. And once you realize that it is about being sustainable with this, enjoying it, and building your own process, if you can just do those 3 things, I promise you, not only will this be an incredible time that you'll have doing it, you will eventually hit that big one if you buy yourself enough time and have a good enough process. And that's like the 3 pillars of which I stand for. And I want to make this sustainable, where you're, not putting too much into your not only your lineups but your fucking tout sites, and then you're also learning the process and having somebody guide you through that, which I didn't have, so you don't have to spend 3 years being a losing player, and hopefully we can get you to that break-even point for a while, and then you will spike that big one because you will have a process, because that's something we preach here.
Just showing it is good. Like James said, the internet's good. When I get passionate, I talk with my hands. When I talk with my hands, for some reason, my camera freezes. So it's been annoying. I apologize, but definitely getting into this because I'm having fun with it. Like, this is going to be an awesome thing for everybody involved. We're super excited about it. James just mentioned about sort of the cost of the content versus the sustainability and the profit season long. And, people say, oh, I made some money, but this, that, and the other, I had to pay for all these sites or all those other things. I was going to talk about this earlier, but I'll bring it up now, is when the welcome video on the site, you can still go to it right now. A lot of the things we've said from the very beginning, day one, which that video has been up since then, are the same things we stick to now. Hoop talked about continuing to improve and add on. We've come through on that. We're just 9 months in. Like I said, we're in phase 2. Phase 3 is coming soon. But this is a big phase, and we're excited about it. But I said at the top, whether you're a novice, intermediate, or advanced player, this will be the place for you. And I do want to touch on that for a second, because just to clarify it all, like people say it's the what, the why, and the so what. The what, novice, the why, and I'll get into that, and the so what. But just to bring it up, the novice player, I gave my RG story earlier, right now has limited options. There's enough people out there that are competitors and that are in the space and doing good things, different than us, that's fine. But to come in and actually learn the game from people that are focused on process, they play the game every week, they're in the streets, they're eat, sleep, breathe the DFS industry, not just in the DFS streets and playing DFS, but coaching, training, developing, motivating, getting people better at the actual game. This is the spot for the novice. And then guess what? Most novice players don't have the biggest bankroll. So the affordability factor is massive for a novice player coming in, because they can get in for whatever price point they want for as little or as long as they'd like to be involved, get better at some of the stuff, and go from there. The intermediate player, what's the situation with them? Maybe a little bit bigger bankroll, probably found some wins along the way, some ups, some downs, what James just talked about. They're going through it, right? They have ups, they have downs. But what they're looking for is the next step. Where is their $10,000 win? Where is their big satellite ticket win or their big break or whatever it might be? When you join a community like ours that's not focused on this guy versus that guy or picks and plays, and it's talking about process, getting better with the optimizer, using rules, sticking to it, all these other factors, and have people around you motivating you, that's what it's all about. You're surrounding yourself, people. Your net worth is your network. You probably heard that statement before. Hanging around a group like we have is how you actually can get better. And in some cases, it can help you skip over those mistakes that you've been making, or find a faster way to get there, where maybe you remember and pick up on something that you use again in the future that does end up being for your big break or whatever it is that you're looking for, your profitable year, your sustainability, whatever that might be. And then because of those two things, and because of what Hoop mentioned earlier, and us knowing that 95% of this industry, that people are going to a site like ours and signing up, are in that novice or intermediate bucket, not fully advanced, that means that advanced players probably want to know what their competitors are doing, probably want to use some of that stuff to be able to push it around and find what they're doing in their process and go from there. So really it can work for anyone. And I'll talk more to the advanced player later, but I did just want to bring that up, because even now when people are talking about Sims, I'll say it right now quickly. It's nothing against Sims. I know there's people out there that use them and crush with them. I know there's people out there that know how to use them. And guess what? The secret is a lot of the people already had them. It just hit market this past year and became a big thing. The people that were already crushing with them, some of the best players in the world that I've been lucky enough and grateful to be able to go to these events and meet them. Nerdy Tenor, Whistles, FJ Bourne, all these guys, different ones out there that probably use these things or already have mentioned that they do use these things. They're already crushing DFS. They already had these things in place. They're not necessarily needing it. So when a site's out there sending you the email, X user won X amount with Sims, whatever, last night, you need to get these. How does that help you? You have no clue even what they are, how to use them, how to apply them. It's a 1%er thing. It's nothing against Sims. It's saying that what they're marketing to is the problem, when we know 95% of the market is novice or intermediate players. Now, if you are an advanced player and you know how to use Sims and you know what they are, and you know that the important thing is creating the contest Sims and what you're actually up against, you need very accurate ownership projections. You need good and different projections. SHIPIT Nation can provide you with those, and you can apply them, and we'll offer them out. If you're an advanced player and someone like if I'm a friend of yours, you know me or met me or talked to me, come talk to me. I'll let you try it all out. Use it. Go take it in and see, because we're putting the extra effort, to James's point, on a showdown slate to find out who's going off what tee and what advantage that means. Your other sites are simply not doing that when it comes to their projections. They're not going after the ownership for the steam and for the moonwalk and back, and they're just not doing any of that stuff. So, Hoop, did you have anything you want to add on when it comes to that, or anything else you want to bring up on just the industry as a whole? I think you talked about earlier, the pricing, like for one sport in some cases, is as much as our entire plan costs.
Yeah. So, in this day and age with the news and things like that, basically every single sport, and what goes into being a successful DFS player, it's hard to not have a home for content or advice or a community of people that support you. You need something. And if you're going to take it seriously, maybe you're somebody that just wants to throw $20 lineup in there a week, and you're just going to pick your guys and go. You do it on the shitter. I like that term, the shitter lineup builders. If you're like, cool, maybe you don't need content. If you're taking this seriously, you need a home. You need a spot to support you. You need, assistance with the content. You need the Discord community behind you. And, what I saw, over the course of the last year really opened my eyes. These price tags are just so ridiculous. And I started thinking, I was like, how much money do you need to make playing DFS to afford some of these price tags at these other sites? And it's a lot of damn money. Like, now it appears the industry standard is $500 to $600 per sport. So if you want PGA content around the industry, you're looking at $500 to $600. Then baseball starting in a month, they're going to hit you up for another $400, $500, $600. You see NASCAR starting next weekend, $450 for a NASCAR package, $500 for a NASCAR package. Like, come on, that's just a little bit much. Well, not a little bit. That's a lot too much. Football season's coming around. It's going to be more. PGA majors, people are going to push it once these majors start for their PGA product, $500, $600. Just gets to a point where you just got to ask yourself, why the fuck am I paying this price tag anymore? Am I really getting the return out of this product? And for 95% of you people, I can tell you that you're not. So that's why, again, we are offering these packages. Tambo has them up on the screen at an affordable rate. What other sites are charging for one sport, we're charging for everything. And as you just saw, we now offer 8 sports with projections, ownership, core report, slate plans, player pools, everything you need to be competitive at DFS, everything you need to get better at DFS for the same price that people are charging per sport. And this is a price tag that's not going to change. We're going to offer this deal. This gets you access to, again, all the main sports on DraftKings, and you're not getting bent over backwards trying to pay for these things. We want to offer a fair price tag so you can go and play more DraftKings lineups or FanDuel lineups or whatever sort of contest you like to get in. Pay less with us, play more elsewhere. That's what we're all about, and that's what we're going to be about moving forward.
Yeah, pay less for contests, pay less for content, play more contests. And if you look here, you mentioned, like, I eat, sleep, and breathe the industry. I'm not going to say anything bad about the sites or the names, because they can do whatever they want. I'm always the one that says this about it. Like, they can charge whatever they want, but to go get what the industry says is the greatest college football package is about $330. What the industry says is the greatest NASCAR package is $450. It's around $500 to $600 for what people would say is the greatest projections package for MLB. NHL, I think, I don't know who does well. I know our projections are amazing, but I don't even know if there's an NHL site out there, so call it an added bonus. For MMA, some great guys that I'm friends with out there have their own sites. For MMA, I would never say a bad thing about them, and they're charging pretty fair prices, but you do still have to go add on another site, get another one into the mix. We make ours affordable, so you can do so if you want. I think we're going to be far and away the best when it comes to PGA for value and for actual offerings and the time and effort that we put into it to make it easy as possible for you to use it while still giving you the education aspect. There's a full 2-hour PGA DFS course for you guys to get after it there. Then you look at NBA out there. Again, could you think of 2 great sites that most people use right now? Both of them are pretty expensive, but again, to each their own. What you think is best for you. All I'm saying is when you add up all of this for what people would tell you that you need, or that it's the only way you can go about it, you're talking about $2,000 to $3,000 to get that. If you just need one of them, it's probably still the same price anyway. And our code will come up later. It's Degen15. If you want to go use it, go use it. We've talked enough about it. Remember, though, you can only use it once. And the reason I would say to use it for the annual is because it works out to $509, and you're going to get 8 sports for the entire year. The projections, the ownership, all the tools, the rankings, the reports, the player pools, the slate plans, the education courses that come with them. And then on top of it, of course, we have a Discord. Somebody asked in there, we've got the Discord that we just talked about is top of the line. No toxicity, no bad mouthing other sites, no bad mouthing each other. It's just a great conversation of professional individuals going around with similar goals and mindsets, like-minded individuals. If you can't get that one, there's a 6-month. If you want to try it out for a month, you'd think we're selling you on a $3,000 package. Like I just mentioned, we're talking about you can get it for $24 for the week. You can get it for $69 for the month. But James, is there anything else when it comes to pricing? I mean, this has been your biggest thing that we talked about. And you guys can start throwing your questions in there that you have for us now. That'd be a good time. Hoop, you can find some winners for the memberships and one of the quote-unquote olds for the $200 single entry. But James, you talked about price a ton. And I mean, $509 for 8 major sports for an entire year is insanity when you think about it out loud. But what's your take on the pricing again? Go ahead.
I mean, what this industry is forgetting is like we should be encouraging new people to get into DFS, right? And no one's going to want to jump into DFS and just instantly start playing thousands of dollars a slate or a week or hell, even a month, right? People get into it. They want to try it out. They have a little fun with it, but they start out maybe $5, $10, $20 a slate, maybe a few $100 a month, right? And if you're just playing, let's say $100 a month or whatever the number is, let's say you play $200 or $300 a month, it is nearly impossible for you to justify spending over $1,000 on tout sites, no matter how much you think they're helping you. Which, by the way, if they're just giving you picks and plays, they're not fucking helping you. But if like you're spending that much money, you are guaranteed a loser at DFS. And now what they're doing is they're running off all these people, because even if the person in their first year managed to become a break-even player, they sure as shit didn't pay off all of that expensive tout site, right? If you are going to be spending money learning how to play this game, you should be going to a site that A, you are not spending more money on the tout site than you are on your lineups, and B, more importantly, a site that is teaching you how to play the game and improve your process. Because I swear to you, there's no one who is going to get there. If somebody had these magical picks that could just give you the answer, the answer to every test, well, then they wouldn't fucking be selling it. They just win every GPP, right? So like, you got to understand that it's got to be about you building your process, having fun with it, and having somebody there to teach you, so you don't have to be a donkey dick like me who lost for 3 years just learning from the school of hard knocks. And you need to have it at a place that's affordable. And that is what that's the only reason I would have ever sold my site that was doing very, very well, right? The only reason I would take that and go merge it into SHIPIT is because they're the only ones out there who shared this vision that I have. And I will die on this hill. Is the thing I'm the most passionate about in this industry.
And the good news is, James just said it best, but I said earlier, there's 2 types of GBs. There is get better or go broke. And these other sites, the fact of the matter is that if you're with them, be happy, because they're going to have to get better, because we're trying to have a takeover here. We're trying to change things up to make it better for you, to keep these prices low, to keep them affordable for everybody. It's been mentioned a ton of times in the chat that it gives somebody a real chance to be competitive within the game and actually learn to get better. You have to learn to get better. Like, I don't understand. Every other industry in the world, if you want to become a chef, you have to go practice cooking and take courses. If you want to learn how to play the guitar, you need to find someone that can teach you how to play the guitar so that you can go do songs on it. Like, if you want to get better at DFS, you need a place to help you through that. And that's really what it should be all about. So let's go into some of the questions here, and then I'll kick it back to you for some winners soup. But is there a Discord? Just want to note on that quickly, because, and maybe you're a panic seller of your current site and you want to hop over to SHIPIT. The only thing we don't include the Discord on, we know it's a huge part. We think it's extremely valuable. The reason we don't include it on the week is because I look at the week like the January 1st gym memberships. You're showing up just to say you went to see what it's all about, hoping to get in shape in 1 week. No, the gym takes time. You got to eat right. You got to work out. You got to actually lift the weights. Every other plan comes with the Discord community. And for $69 less the code is going to be like $58. You're going to get 8 sports. And again, they're not only going to be running within the month you're in, but you are going to be able to get into that Discord, start asking questions, getting around that. Hoop, did you have some winners? I'm going to look for some of these other questions here.
Yeah, the first winner that we had, let me find it. I kind of time-stamped it. There's a lot of comments in here. So we understand that, obviously, paying for content isn't for everyone. People can't do it based on their circumstances. Now, of course, everyone's going to come in here and say they can't afford it, so they win the free membership. But News Crasher beat everyone to the punch. He said, I'd love to sign up with you guys. I'm just broke. Well, we're going to give you an opportunity to get better at your game and test out the new and improved SHIPIT Nation product. So that's the first winner. I'm going to go back and find some more.
One note on him, Hoop, is like you said, if everyone's going to say the same thing, they're broke and they just want to win it. Our site name is SHIPIT. So he was first. He shipped it. That you won first place. So that's what you get. So first winner, reach out to us, info@shipitnation.com. Send us a screenshot of your YouTube. We'll get you set up with your free month, all access. So you're going to get that. Thanks to Cullen Hoffman. There's one of 4, and Hoop, you can find some others. Did you have another one you want to add?
I got to find some more. I got to go back and I got them timestamped. I got to go back and find them. So
go ahead. I mean, this first one, Dylan says that's the key, right? Play casually, justify it. Like James said, when you go add that 2,000-3,000, you got to start your season down. I mean, you're looking for some wins pretty quick, right? Sean, we may do some member shows. We said from the start they'd all be free, but obviously with Degen coming over, he's already got some premium stuff. I think for the most part, though, we'll still continue to keep it free. People love these free shows. The key is getting into the actual community. That's an added bonus. If you can afford it, you want to get in it, whatever it might be, you're good to go. A lot of people asking questions about they have a certain membership at either site, especially with a 6-month or an annual. You have a specific email coming directly to you one-to-one, not a generic message or anything like that. It's coming to you based on your circumstance. That's the one I said off the top that you may not have got that yet, but it is going to be coming to you. Steven knows, best show in all of PGA DFS tonight on the Degen75 YouTube channel. That's a good point to bring up. We are still transitioning that over. So for the time being, it is going to be over there as well. So you're going to see that. Anything, James?
That's 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone. That's going to be 8 for all you new guys, 8 Eastern. So just be there. You need to be there. Don't make your lineups. Don't make your lineups beforehand.
That's right. You'll learn all the rules too. You'll learn quickly, and you may want to be the guy at the back in the beginning and just save the questions, get to know it a little bit. But once you get to know it, you'll love it. I can assure you of that. Jeremy, yes, there is definitely a way to upgrade from the full season. Just reach out, info@shipitnation.com. It's actually only going to be prorated. So anything you already paid will just go towards it. You're not going to have to add a bunch of money on top, just the difference for whatever it is. DJ, we know what logo you're rocking, bro, but you're still good. But you're right. The competition is going to get different for all these people with different logos out there. And we're going to make sure that we're the spot to be. We want to make it, to Hoop's point earlier, we've made it affordable to where you can have multiple sites. Again, I won't shit on that. Do what you want to do. Have every site if you want to. It's good to know and have a pulse on the industry. But what our goal and our mission is to make it so that if you're down to your last or you can only get one, we want you to know the one that you need to have is SHIPIT Nation. And that's kind of the key, making sure you know. David says they're a separate channel in the Discord. Should we get a channel called #the-olds?
The olds. We love the olds.
Present your ID to get in. We'll lock the channel down until you send your ID in, and then you guys can get in. We are going to have, somebody dropped it in here earlier. I won't pull it up, but I'll talk to it. The one note was there was different stuff with one Discord versus the other. So I do want to make sure that you know that we're not going to bring it all across. We keep things, pretty tight. Less is more on the SHIPIT side, but there's a lot of good channels that are still coming over. The Tilt Arena we're going to have that we bring across. The other stuff that we've got in mind. We'll let you know once we come up with it, but we are going to have some additions to the Discord for current members that are already there or those wondering what they'll find when they come across. What else do we got? And my guy Degen says, okay, question. Let's see. What do we got? Do his little run through that he does on his show every week. Let's see. New logo incoming. No, the logo's staying the same. You can adapt though. We're going to do some custom logos. If you guys want a custom avatar, the editor has already said we will put those together. If you go to shipitnation.com, go under the drop down and click logos, you will see here all 4: save, upload, ship it. That's as easy as that. But if you want your name put underneath one of these first 2 or the logo, we can do it here for you guys. So check that out too if you want to see that. What other questions in here? Okay, this is a good one here. Maybe James, you want to talk about this real quick? Just obviously they are going to be getting both projections in the beginning, but yours are actually taking over for PGA. So you can talk to it a little. I can chime in on anything you're not sure of.
Yeah, so his question went away, but it looked like it said something about on SHIPIT. Okay, so yeah, if you all of the stuff that I'm still uploading for the PGA, the week long, and the PGA Showdown will all be there. To merge, if you're wanting to get the SHIPIT ones for the other sports, I honestly, you got to understand, the big guy knows what he does. He gets on the camera and talks shit. So how's that working when can they get the other SHIPIT sports if they're on mine, and the people who are on the SHIPIT will now be able to access Degens, or we're probably just going to double upload them, right? It'll say Degen75 and SHIPIT. It's going to be my projections for both of them. So it probably won't even have to have a different drop down box, but I will warn you, I don't know anything.
Yeah, sorry. We have a meeting with our partner, The Solver, this afternoon. So we'll get that all settled out. So it's made sure that's part of the transition. We want to do it once, do it right. Once we get all the lists in, we'll probably have to do it over like a 24 to 48 hour period where we can just ship them a list and say, here's 50, do them. Here's 100, do them. Whatever it ends up looking like as we get through everybody, it's going to take a little bit of time because there's more than just 50 or 100 members, as you can probably suspect. The big guy, he was doing okay. So just got to keep that in mind. That's a great question. I will note quickly, the stone will be up when it's ready. Like we've already prepped it for it, right? Where we put the first look video for now, but you'll have the stone video you're used to, all the file downloads. Like it says, the link coming soon, the tournament it's for, the same way you know and expect it. The premium shows this morning, Sleepers While I'm Sleepy, it's up. You can go download the rough draft of ownership zip file like you're used to. It tells the updated time when it went up, the video. We even had the previous stuff from earlier in the week with the model results and the video. So we're already all over it as far as getting the site ready for you guys. The projections, like I said, once DGen gets them rolling and the editor pops them in, we'll have ceiling with the proper ownership in. This is just what we had started with this week while we were going through the merger. But a lot of stuff when it comes to that are going to be good. If you want to make a nostalgia, go back and mix the two logos, by all means, you can. We have no problem with that. It's just we're trying to get as many people to rock the logo as possible. I'm going to have some contests in relation to that as well. So we're going to get you guys taken care of. People keep asking about merch. If you go here, I know the big guy just got hooked up with a bunch. You go under shop and merch. Hoop's got the new hat on. That will be up soon. Right now, we've got the hashtag. We got the Nike hoodies. We've got the Just Ship It shirt, the classic, the bundle. You guys can go check all that out. But we will have more stuff going up with the 2 new hats that just came out. All of DGen stuff. No, this is a good question. Will you get all the same from James? Yes. Will you get the same as what we had and him overlapping? No, that's the beauty of this. I won't be making a stone either. We'll be sticking with the stone that we know works and is incredible. So it's the combination of the two of them to make it so that you get the best possible of everything. Again, it all ties into it. And what people can never get enough of with core plays and other sites do top plays, nothing against any of it. We have them too. It's because there's people out there that work full time, that care about their family and being with their kids more and other different things that they have going on, extracurricular activities where they know that they don't have enough time, but they know the sweaty tryhards are over here putting their full on extra effort into getting that stuff up and ready so that you guys will have it available to you if you just really didn't have time or you wanted to dabble in something else. But we would always suggest before you just hop in the golf streets or the NBA streets, go and take the course. Another thing, all members get Ship It Nation education. There's the 3 courses already created. There's 2 more on the way. You're able to go in. It's got a full breakdown. You can see who recorded it, what it's about. You can go in and see, like for golf, we talk about goals, mindset, bankroll management, contest selection, so on and so forth. We talk about roster construction, not who you play. It's how you play them, and then dive in deep on that. Weather wave stacking, game theory, leverage, correlation, live finals. We've had 4 different people win Fantasy Golf World Championship tickets already. Some people that just got in the streets this year. I break down exactly how to go through the 3-round play down to get into the finals. So just things like that, the showdown course, all of that is included as well. Lots more to go. Anything else there, Hoop, that you saw? I was just looking for other questions. Is there anything else?
Yeah, there was something about, so someone, where was
I want to answer this one quickly while you're pulling it up. This is coming. This was never this way on DGen, but it was a goal. And we all agreed it's going to be our same goal over here. This is definitely part of the transition. The one factor is, I'll tell you to your second part, so you can see it on things like an iPad. It's always going to be better and desktop friendly. If you remember, and I know, Jason, you've been here since beginning, a founding family member, so appreciate you. Like the MLB starting lineups page, much better viewed on a desktop, but we are going to make it so that it's going to be there for setup for you once we get it rolling here. So good question.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good question as well. James, you can take that one.
Do I still go to Degen75 for golf content if I have not received my transfer email? Yes, everything is still going to be up and running on the Discord and on the site, because I'm going to make sure that not one of my members misses a piece of content or a piece of or a single tool during this transition. I would imagine that certainly by the end of this weekend we will have everybody buttoned up, ready to go. But we are not going to be shutting down anything we're doing, because the last thing we want to do is rob my members of any content or tools simply in the transition. So we're going to make sure that it's still up, and that email will be coming. If not by tomorrow, please just hit up the editor. I will yell at him and make him do it, or I'll get the guy in the back to do it. One of the two.
And Nick says, as far as the stone's concerned, for now, I mean, again, to all your questions, I agree. It's my biggest thing is just being able to pop it up on the website and see it. use it wherever. That's what we're getting to. We will get there. Just have to bear with us. But definitely right now, that's a good point. If you wanted to try that out, you could definitely do that. Go ahead, Hoop.
Yeah, here's another membership winner. Love a chance to win the giveaway and try out the site. Been on a budget, haven't been able to justify membership, but he's been tuning into every NBA live show with Hebrew and title. And it's one thing, that we've definitely prided ourselves on along the way. A lot of free shows. And, if you're not a paying member, I mean, we appreciate the support of tuning into those free YouTube shows day in and day out. So we'll give you a chance to try out the website. And yeah, that'll be the second winner of the giveaway from our guy, Colin.
Yeah. Shout out to Lachlan. You got the win there. Reach us over at info@shipitnation.com and send us just a screenshot of your YouTube account. We'll get you set up on that as early as this afternoon so that you guys will see it. Somebody asked about the Mayo shows. Just a quick rundown because, a lot of people follow us for PGA or we're in the heart of the PGA season. So just want to note that quickly. We will have the First Look show. It's going to be hosted by James, Degen75, with me on there with him every Monday once pricing drops. Monday evening, I'll still be doing the Fantasy Golf Degenerates with my boy, Kenny Kim. Tuesday, Hoop and I will have the show on the Ship It Nation YouTube station, give you a sort of a midweek look. Then on Wednesday, I'll be in studio with Pat Mayo doing the live show where we go through and break down lineup construction and get some ideas leading up to the best show in the PGA DFS industry with James, the Degenerate75, every Wednesday evening, the emergency stream. A lot of fun with that. There's going to be some good giveaways, some good breakdowns, all that everything you know and love and that you're used to. You're not going to be missing out on anything. You're going to get everything that you know and expect. So that's the key. And then you'll be able to get into the Discord, onto the site, see all of that stuff. And then shout out to our guy, Eric. Eric is actually going to be helping us with the NASCAR. He's going to run that out. He's going to do the cores, the player pool, the slate plan, everything that we've got going on over there with the Dominators, the place differential drivers, all of those things. And then we'll have a stone, projections, ownership, and an awesome Discord channel breaking all things down up to the race time there. So again, just another added bonus that we can talk about there.
Yeah, and then from Nick Cat, same thing. As a founder member on both sites, which I'd be looking for in my email, anything I can search in case it's in junk too. Just wait, right? It's coming.
No, it's not out yet. Danny's asking. Everyone's asking the same one. It's a good question, but just want to make sure you guys know that it's set up where you're going to get it specifically, most likely by the end of today. But we wanted to do it in sort of runs. We don't want all these people. Like I said, we're not talking about 50 people here. So it's going to take some time where you actually get brought over, but we are making it seamless for everyone. And remember, and there's certain situations where it's very specific. We want to make sure you're taken care of. We've angled the email to make sure you understand it all and are getting the deal that you're supposed to be getting when coming over. Just want to see here.
I'd like to answer Myron's question real quick. He just asked it. Degen show's going to be on his channel or on this channel? Great question, my dude, Myron. So we're still going to be doing the emergency stream and round 3 showdown over on the old Degen channel, just so I can continue to get people over to Ship It with the big plan of eventually I'll just do every show on Ship It. But for the time being, the emergency stream every Wednesday will be on my channel, but it will also be simulcast over on Ship It, and the round 4 showdown will still be on my channel, but it will also be simulcast over on Ship It. So you should, if you're on Ship It, you're subscribed, you have the notifications on, you should still be able to access everything. But just to be safe, it will still be on my channel, those 2 shows.
Yeah, great point out. And then this one too, we get it. Just leave those for a second. Where's the other one I just had? There was a good question here. I'm going to go to that one in a second. I just had another one up there, so just 1 second. Someone asked when the stone is available and when will it be live? The same time it goes live on both sites. It's going to be in both places for right now. It is not live yet, so therefore it's not up yet. But like I said, when you go to our site, under the stone, it'll be moments after it's live over on Degen75 while we still work through the merger. The other question that just came up, somebody asked, this was a great question about this one. Here, let me leave this one for a second. So going back here, I do want to show this because if you were ever looking for PGA only options, I do want to note it still doesn't matter if you add the season right now, but I do want to let you know when we did this, we weren't as confident in what we were going to do for the swing season. So we said, let's just make it for sure, go till the end of the season and make it the right price, make it add up to be the best deal possible. We are going to change this to annual and be $299. But that's why I said the price doesn't matter, because if you use Degen15 right now and it works out to like $22 a month or $25 a month, give or take, for the 8 months, when we go to the annual, at the end of that term, you can either go monthly for the amount of swing season you want and still end up paying around the $299 or less, or you can just jump to another year at $299, be at the same monthly price, but be in for the next 12 months. So it really doesn't matter. But for right now, it's denoted, it has been since day one. That's why it doesn't affect anybody that's already signed up for it. when the other link goes up. You don't even need to upgrade. You can just wait until it gets there tomorrow. Hoop can answer that. That's going to be tomorrow. What time, Hoop? The LOL show?
Yeah, I'll be on with Pete and Brick tomorrow, 1:30 Eastern. So make sure to tune into that as well. Last time I was on, it was their highest viewed show of 2023. So let's see if we can beat that this time around.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Nick asked the same question there. I don't know if there's any more. I had a couple things quick just to add at the end, and then I'll let you guys give your final thoughts. But one note, we've been pretty clean and clear on. I just was clear about this going to annual at $299 and why. It's not like you're getting less. You're actually getting 4 more months when the price hops up. But just to note it, it was going to go to $279 anyway. Both the annual, this has been sitting here for $699 forever. That's why you're going to want to get in. Why I said I would implore you to use the Degen15 code for the annual, because you'll get it for $509 for everything. So if you use code Degen15, you go to shipitnation.com. You can use it on any membership plan, but you can only use it once to get all 8 sports, the content, the projections, the tools, the community, the education courses, everything that we've talked about today. You can use that on anything, but if you use it on the annual right now, you're going to be in for $509 for 12 months, and it will stay locked in at that for as long as you stay with Ship It Nation. In a little bit, we're going to go up to the $699 with all the new stuff that we've added: NASCAR, college football, PGA Showdown, on top of different new tools like the Stone, ceiling projections, Showdown projections, all of that stuff. And the math works out on the 6 month. So it's basically going to be 69, 64, or 59 once it goes up. But right now you can get in for just over $40 a month when you use the code Degen15 and sign up for that annual. So if you've been on the fence waiting to get in, that's something. Also, the last piece on pricing, and I'll go to you, James, for final thoughts, is people ask me this, and I think you've had this question come up as well, James, where they say, well, what if I just want golf and football? Well, let's do a little math here quickly. Golf is $39. Football, going to be the same pretty much, or likely around there, maybe a little bit more. It's obviously cheaper to just go with the all access. It's more for when someone only wants one that it becomes that the method that you should go. Otherwise, it's always going to be better to get this for $58 a month with promo code Degen15. That locks in, and then you're good to go and get all 8 sports across the board. James, any other final thoughts? Go ahead.
What's cool about that is, like, say like you're just like, you know what? I want to try some NASCAR this week with the Daytona 500. Well, if you already have the all access package, even if you never play NASCAR again, you're going to get it this weekend, right? Oh shit, big MMA slate this weekend. I'm going to try some MMA. If you have that all access package, which is just incredibly better deal than anything out there, then you're going to be able to just do those random one-offs and still be able to stick to your PGA that you're playing week in or week out, or your NFL week in or week out. And I just want to say one more thing on that Degen15 code, just to be clear, because I know a lot of times this stuff can get looked over. When he says you can use it one time, if you use it for the monthly, it will keep applying to that monthly so long as it doesn't cancel, right? It's just like you can't do it one time, then cancel and come back and use it again. So once you lock in that Degen15 on a monthly price, you'll continue to get that cheaper rate moving forward. So I just want to be very clear about that.
Yeah, right there, Harry. Just like that, my man. We got you covered. Like I said, some of the stuff's already up. This is legit. This is from this morning at 11:16 a.m. We might have to get people up on their time zones now that we got Degen in the mix, but that is up since this morning. We do have that. Adam, no, we mentioned a couple times, but no problem. Just want to clarify it again. Yeah. The emails that have went out are for people that didn't have SHIPIT. It went. So just so you know, that's why. It's all the people that haven't got it yet, and we'll get it today, are the ones that we had to put extra love, care, and appreciation to make sure, like, they were already members at both sites. We have to make this make sense. So we put extra time. I mean, Hoop, myself, and James, the editor, others, our guy jumped on for 3 hours one day. I had a headache from spinning the numbers so much on a spreadsheet, but we wanted to make it so that you got your special code. Everything was brought across for sure. NFT degenerates, can you use any sort of buy now, pay later if you can't afford the 509? What you would do is you would go to the 6 month and apply it. It's just we have it cut in half for that reason. You can still apply the Degen15 code to that, pay about half the price, and it will renew, to James's point, at the 6 month mark at the same deal. So you'll still be able to get a really good deal and get in there for a little bit less, just in case. We're not converting. We'll maybe do both, but we are going to try and stick to the journey of making this an official time zone so that people know that it actually exists. We got to keep that on the map. And then to the questions about like just NASCAR, just UFC, the sports like that, it would be hard. Like even if we put them for $29 a month or something like that, it's just such a better value. And you're probably going to want one of the major sports where then it's going to cost you more. So you are better off still just going to the all access for $58 calling it what you call it, less than $2 a day to get access to everything, even though you only need it for one sport. But right now we're trying it out. We're testing and piloting it for PGA. So that's why you see it for PGA only. Any other questions that you guys have? Degen, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
I mean, honestly, like I know it's going to sound cliche to say this, but you know, anybody who knows me knows this is the truth. I really did this for the members and for the community. I wanted to be able to, you know, like be this guy who is fighting against what I consider to be an evil exploitive industry. And I wanted to be able to give people what they deserve at a fair price. And I was never going to be able to do it on my own. And I had to realize that. And I luck sacked because I've done a lot of luck sack in the past 21 months. And I just found somebody who could offer me the infrastructure that I needed, who offered all the holes that I had in what I offered, and most importantly, who shared my values. And it was just something that I decided that needed to be done. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All working together on all this stuff, making it the best possible community we can out there and getting you guys involved, getting you better at the game, growing the game. Hoop, I'll kick it to you. Any final thoughts or maybe questions that you saw that didn't go answered or stuff you had on your list that you wanted to hit on before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just back to the opening, situation. We put a lot of work into this and a lot of talks and a lot of brainstorming, coming up with ideas on how we could make this all work. And we finally got to a point where it's truly a win for everybody involved, and everyone involved so far can attest to it. The members are going to attest to it very quick because it's going to be so much more content, so many more sports for the SHIPIT Nation community, the Degen75 community. And it's just a rare situation in business where everybody wins. That's typically not the case. And we're just very excited about it. And again, when we first launched 9 months ago, and, same thing on the Degen75 side, like James said, he couldn't offer all these sports for his people. When we first launched, we couldn't offer all these sports for these people. So we always said, hey, we'll keep our prices low. So if somebody wants to go ahead and get other sports that they want, they can afford both. Well, now it's at the point where you don't need to pay the big price tags anymore. I mean, you just don't need to do it. And if you are, you really need to sit down and look at it and say, is this worth it? Am I really getting, $2,000 to $3,000 worth of content annually out of what I'm paying? Like, am I getting enough out of it? And in a majority of cases, that answer is no. And now we're offering the all-encompassing product at a very affordable rate, and the price tag's not going up. We have all the main sports now on DraftKings. All of the main big prize pool sports we offer content for. So there's just no need to pay the big price tags anymore. And then just one other point that we didn't touch on a lot, and we're not going to go into detail on this, but there will be detail moving forward. This is part of the plan. This was what we call phase 2, and there is a phase 3 right around the corner. And if you are a member at SHIPIT Nation, you're going to have the opportunity to benefit in an even bigger manner when phase 3 hits. So we have a plan. We've executed all our plans, I'd say, rather flawlessly. It's an exciting time. I could not be more excited for this partnership with the Degen75 community. And let's get going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Go find the winner for the 200 single entry hoop. I want to answer one more and want to show this off quick because Troy brings this up, and we don't mind. We love a little bit of feedback. Says, will you have an optimizer? We are partnered with the solver right now. It says your site is valuable, but coupled with the solver, it's not that cost effective. So I would argue that because, again, I'm not going to come at you. I'm just going to show you the facts. If you go to our site and sign up for this for $509, it's $42 a month. It works out to. If you go to the solver and sign up for their $49.99 all sports, assuming you need all sports, you're at $92 a month for 8 major sports and an optimizer. There's not a chance. There's sites out there charging $450 for NASCAR for just the content. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe, you get an optimizer for NASCAR with it, but I'm saying, like, an example, there's golf sites out there, 600 just for golf, and then you still got to go and buy the solver or somebody else. We're talking about $92. Again, maybe you're not taking it that serious, so you're talking about how can I save more? But you're not going to put up $1,000 up front, and I get that. We're all for it. That's why we're saying. But even if you take this down to $58 a month, and then you go over and do a single sport for you're just going to play golf right now, right? If you're just doing golf, even better. You can go here for PGA only, $39 a month. You could take it down 15%. Come over here for $25. You're in for just over $50 a month, and you've got golf, every projection for showdown, main slate, all of it, and an optimizer to go with it. There's just a ton of ways that you can shake it out. But again, we're trying to be for everybody. It may not be for you, but all we can say is that if you're actually putting us on paper, and maybe in the future we'll do some of that, showing the competitors versus us, it's not going to be very friendly to them for the price that we're at, and affordability for everything, including the optimizer, versus what some of them are charging for just one sport only.
Or just the optimizer themselves. Don't forget, there's some optimizers out there who are charging more monthly, and you don't get any of the tools or any of the access to the site. You're only just getting the optimizer with no projections in it, and you're paying more for just that optimizer than you would for all of our content, all of our tools, all of our projections, and the deal with the solver.
Yeah, and you can get single sport, or you can get, somebody asked about, you can get single sport and just pick one. You want just NBA, you want just golf, whatever it is. All sports, though, it's going to be $69.99 a month, which is still much less than most of the other places out there. But if you want to go 6 months, if you're in this, if you're using an optimizer and you're playing heavy enough volume, it's not that you need it. I'm just saying, if you were in enough for that reason, you probably understand the cost value versus your actual buy-ins. And I think people don't do that enough, right? They end up looking at it like, well, I'd rather just play $1,500 a month than get anything. We're just trying to make it known that for around $120 or less, even if you wanted to go the long route of playing $69 for them and then coming over and going to all access and paying $58 for us and just take it monthly, you still are going to get set up for success when other places are $170 for their content plus their optimizer. That's the difference, right? You're pricing out the others in the competitor. So that's really what it comes down to. Other competitors in the market. Hoop, did you find that $200 single entry winner? And then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sean Rooney. He's taking a line from the movie Freedom Writers. I am home. We want this to be your home for daily fantasy content, and we're confident in our product. We're confident enough that if you do choose this to be your home, you will not regret it. And this is the spot moving forward. No better place to be, gents. Can't wait to see where things go from here. Very nice statement. And, all three of us are very confident that it's a true statement. This should be your home for DFS content moving forward.
Are you sure he's an old? Because I never heard of that movie or whatever it is. So maybe that's how you knew.
No age discrimination here. We don't need to verify the age. We take everyone.
Sean, reach out to us, info@shipitnation.com. Shout out to our guy, Kevin Benet. We'll see you guys all in the Discord. If you haven't joined, remember, get out there now. Use that promo code Degen15. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're just getting started, like we said off the top. That's going to do it for this one, guys. For Hoop, for James, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.